because this has to do with SB Studios. Hey guys, Bolt here. We're on SB Studios. If people we're doing this on Twitch. You should have been here last night. We were recording this. But anyone on Twitch, SP Studios is my second channel on YouTube. SP capitals Studios. I do a lot of more niche stuff. Nancy Drew mysteries, mobile games. For the moment, right now, I'm only doing Nancy Drew Mystery Mondays. I might do some stuff every now and again, but it's not guaranteed, unlike Mondays. But anyways, we kind of just did a whole rant on Twitch. I wanted to get over to something to kind of knock out. As the video on SB Studios is saying, we're doing a reaction to Fnaf Freddy's 2, the movie trailer. But before I get into that, one, I'm going to be irritable because a lot of stuff is happening in my life. I'm not feeling great, basically. I'm in a very low point in my life, so sorry if I have a bad vibe. But we're going to kind of touch upon it here. This is DC Dark Legion. This has been my mobile game for the last 2 weeks that I've been playing. This was Monday's video instead of a Nancy Drew, which we made up for on Wednesday. But I made 2 of these videos. One was to kind of introduce the game, kind of get me going. I got addicted that same day after that video was made. But this was a week when things started to kind of like slow down. So basically DC Dark Legion, it is a very quick, you can get to a certain point. I think it's like once you get to level 12 and 13, then you might start noticing things. So for the most part, it is very similar to Fallout Shelter. You're in this space where you go and upgrade this building, that building, this building, and then you have to go in and there's like equipment you have to upgrade. And it takes cash, it takes certain resources, but most things are in abundance. I'm like almost 200 million at this point. It's ridiculous. They don't, cash is not a problem. But the issue that you run into once you hit that 12 or 13 is that these rooms start taking hours to get stuff done. And then if you're talking about this, which is I think the bat signal or the war room, it's what, so the 15, that's your account number. So whatever your war room is your account level. The problem with this one is that it can take day to days once you get to these later levels. I think it is taking me 2 to 3 days at the moment just to get to level, I think, 18. I'm currently at level 17. So that's one big problem, you know. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and say this map right here, this map icon, it's where they'll have little things like, hey, you want to get some small stuff by sending your people on a little raid event? Sure. Or, hey, there's a little fight you can do here. And they're low powered, so all you have to do is make sure you beat it real quick and you get some stuff. But there is one big thing, well, 2 big things that are a big problem on this map. The second biggest thing is there's normally these like red icons that have a character on it, and it's normally like a dark. I think the thing that ran into me, I think on level 12 or 13, was a dark Hal Jordan, a corrupted Hal, and basically it is such a jump in power versus the previous level that it takes you a while to grind enough to beat those levels, and sometimes you can be 40 to 50 power, which is right here. Your team level, this is not my team level, this is my overall power. My team level, I think at this point was like, well, actually, where is it? Oh, here we go. I was about 200k. So, I was doing a lot to kind of keep up, but it was still not enough to beat Dark Howl. And that happens a lot, is that you can have such a great power, but if you don't have certain characters, certain like we'll get into it, but like there's stars, and if you don't have them at a certain like ranking and stuff, it still doesn't do anything for you. And then the main thing that I ran into is that you have, for the main problem is the main story. And the main story is basically they will give you a Pokemon Go like map. You'll wander a city, get all these little resources which don't really mean anything. Like, hey, it's nice to have some things, but it takes you a while to grind. Like, you need to go like through 50 of these different stories to make your characters at least halfway as good. So they give you little decent dinky things. And it's annoying because you wait so long. And then they go into the most annoying part of the game for me is a part 2, which is a ladder match. It is just like 10, 15 enemies, groups of enemies that you have to beat to finish the story's chapter. And on top of that, you can't unlock the next chapter unless the war room is done. So you can be waiting days before you get to a next story mode. So it's a lot of time problems. The power is weird. I don't think they did good on balancing characters and making it matter. I'm trying to see here. Oh, here we go. This thing. So this is that far left. This is characters. This is your league, which is like your team / like people you go with. And then this is your main base. Oh, and then there's the map. This is the very last thing. I think there's one more above this, which is PvP. PvP, it's all right. They kind of give you rankings, but they can also jump pretty high in power, and you won't be able to do anything. And you have to kind of reset to kind of make sure you get one you can beat. But they only give you 5 a day, and then you have to go find. You have to spend very precious materials to get more. There's these, which is basically kind of like Dragon Ball Legends. There's like you can when you get done with the story, you can spend like energy, and it just runs through it for you. Once you beat it once, you can do that with these like GPS. Oh, come on. My hair's being weird. I just had a shower today. You can run with those things. It's 20 per run. And one is good for like equipment. One is good for like getting your levels up. One you need to tier things up, which that's the one that I do most of the time. And then there's one more. Oh, there's like chips that help you upgrade like a tech tree. There's like a lab that you can get small little extra things for your facility and teams, and they give you little abilities for doing them. But for the most part, that's pretty limited. It's nice to kind of get little extra resources for doing nothing. This is mostly the next, this is a harder ladder match. Basically, for 10 levels, for every level you beat, you get a green mother cube, which is very similar to Injustice 2. The mother boxes are basically just how you unlock characters. They also give you more cash, which is kind of dumb. They can't just give you resources instead of cash, which I guess is why you get so much abundant cash, but it's kind of dumb. But you get one, so you can get up to 10. And then after you beat the 10th level, you get 2 blue, which are like slightly rare, and you get more of a chance to get higher rarity characters. But for the most part, green and blue, you get like nothing but cash for the most part. And you can basically keep doing that until you're not able to with your teams, which yet again, it's one of those things that once your team gets to a certain amount of power, and the game kind of like blocks you because they're too hard. Combat cycle, it's basically, hey, here's one of the Batman Dark Knights. That like the negative universes. Each one of these, they cycle. I think there's 7, and you like every day they give you one of the fights, and based on what rounds you make, you get a certain resource. I think there's like a tank that if you beat the tank, it gives you like things for your equipment, like your armors and stuff. I think there is like the murder machine, which is like the cyborg Batman, and I think he gives you XP, which is very nice. And I think there's another one, which I believe is the Doomsday variant Batman, and he gives you the ones that like they're purple cells that allow you to tier up. Those are the only 2 that matter to me personally. I still run through them to kind of see how good my team is once or twice, but that's about it. This is basically a team event. You basically just do what you do in the maps. You make a team of 5, you send them. It takes like 5 minutes, and then you get some materials, and based on how much damage, you get rewards. And then this is same thing. It's just a daily. You get 5 raids. You can send it. You can ask your both of these. You can ask your teammates to kind of join to make it better. These are some of the most dumbest things I've ever seen. There's no gameplay in them. And then this right here, trash. Basically, no one understands this from what I'm seeing. I've tried to look up like how-tos, but it looks like no one understands this. Basically, there is a pathway, and each pathway gives you the ability to get characters, level up characters, heal characters. Basically, there's a bunch of other things, and then there's other like you can go against enemies, but the issue with this one is that it's not using your own team; it's whatever they give you. So you got to go through and hope that you do a decent strategy to get strong enough to beat the final boss. Because if you don't clear the final boss, they give you chances to use other teams, but it's not like you don't. The final boss doesn't just because you beat him to a certain health. You have to completely beat him in one run. So if your best team doesn't beat it, you're not going to beat this. So basically, you got to go through all your members, kill them all off before you can reattempt. It basically, if you don't do good enough, it puts you into a blender. So basically, what I'm saying is that this game lacks a lot of gameplay. This is the best amount of gameplay you'll find, which is basically put all your teammates where they are and then just auto. And, see how they do. If they beat it, they beat it. If they don't, they don't. I think the only thing you can do is tap when you use your skills, which I guess can be nice if you're against, PvP. But, for the most part, you just do the auto, which means you are not playing the game for the most part. And there's nothing here, which I think the last game I played that was DC mobile game was a DC Legends, which was basically very similar to this, where there's shards. You can upgrade your characters to other tiers. But that game, it gave you 3 or 4 slots to play a team, and that team had 3 powers, and you can choose when to use those 3 powers. And there was a lot more strategy. There was a lot more gameplay. This one is basically go in, do your Fallout Shelter stuff, run through your dailies, do your PvP. You're basically just farming constantly, which, hey, let me see how high I can get is cool and all, but it's one of those games that there's not really anything to do. You have maybe a 10-15 minute gameplay, and then you're out. But anyways, what I've ran into that's ruined this for me, and I'm actually, I have people that I've talked to. I actually have them on Discord. They're friends now. I ran into an issue, which was I started getting, so I was in a team that was top 5. I think we moved on to top 4. Um, but I was like one of the top 3 people of that thing. But I pushed. I was constant. Every time I had energy, I spent it. I was going pretty hard until more recently, where I'm like, I kind of want to give up because there's not much to do here. Um, and we had a lot of people leave because they had personal issues. There was drama going on, so we lost a lot of power. We lost a lot of decent people that those are some of the friends I was talking about, and they moved on to other legions. But because of that, there was a lot of like void of power, and I got moved on to the second in command, basically. Um, but there was a big issue, which was one, because of that big move, we already had previous problems with one or two other legions or leagues, and basically it gave them and multiple other people validation to hate on our group, and it did not help that certain other people added flame to the fire. Well, added food to the fire. Fuel, mind, work. Um, basically, I was second in command, so I'm like, hey, stop this. We're here, like, global. We tried to be nice, try to be chill. For the most part, it was, but it's just like when it came to events or particular like topics, it would get pretty like backstabby. And then there was a problem in our faction chat. You would have just whatever your team had, and you would talk into your other for like strategy purposes. But what was a big problem with that is a lot of people got flirty. A lot of people kind of pushed the line of what's okay to say to someone. The biggest thing, which, it's everywhere anymore, is just once you find out there's a female in it, almost every simp or gooner just comes out of their freaking dark corner and talks the most dirtiest thing I've ever heard. Which, for the most part, I'm still a man. I like to have, conversations, and I don't mind poking fun at that stuff. But yet, there's a line between a complete random stranger and an acquaintance and all that. You're not best buds for years or, an actual relationship. So for the most part, I would play along every now and again, but there was a point, and when I had more power, I'm like, hey, we need to kind of back off. A lot of that got ignored. But for the most part, basically, at the very end, it all bloated up. There was people that, because I was in that group, they DM direct messaged me, basically flaming my group, flaming me for being in the group. There was a lot of people, almost every day you would get, if you were in a higher power state, they would constantly try to recruit you. Hey, can you be this? Can you be that? Can you come here? Which, it got annoying. You'd say no, but they'd still want you to. No doesn't mean no, I guess. But, so there was that. So recruitments, there was just me being a part of that group. There was just nasty people in general. Of course, there was spam. There was a few spam bots that were just trying to get your personal information. There was people that were trying to, get to you. I think a lot of that stuff was dealt with. I haven't had it in a while. I think that if you do sneak in every now and again. I think the biggest ones that kept through were like, hey, can you play this like civilization game with me? And they'd have like spam accounts to kind of like show pretty girl next to gameplay. Come play with me. Come play with me. But anyways, for the most part, it was kind of stupid. I didn't, oh no. Oh no. I I forgot to add something to. Can I do it while I'm here? No. Come on. BRB YouTube. Alright, sorry. I almost forgot I didn't, because of me resetting my computer, I forgot to put a display so we can react to stuff. Anyways, didn't finish. Basically, it's just so many people with just being nasty, not getting left alone, spam, and then just being part of the group was annoying. And then there was problems in the group. Like there's a few people who just didn't help, and one of the biggest problems was the leader himself. I would ask him, hey, deal with it. Hey, this person out of pocket. And he was out of pocket every now and again. There was this one girl that was originally a higher role as well. And for the most part, her and the leader were a little bit of a flirt. But, like, out of nowhere, she was one of the first few to kind of start rolling out. But she was the target of a lot of issue, and I'm friends with her, and I'd rather that not been happening. So we try our best to deal with it. But it did not get dealt with, and the leader himself kind of like egged on and kept being like, so why is this happening? What? Like he fueled the fire. Not that I actually got that down. But yeah, it's just, a lot of stuff. So I'm giving it about 24 hours. I direct messages the people that mattered. I already got Discord by I think 4 people. So I think I only messaged about 6. I think one person that I like, it was one of the females. Yeah, boy, nah, it's nothing like that. She was just very nice, and I was trying to talk to her, but she might be not joining. A lot of these people are from around the world, by the way. They're not from America. I think the one that I talked about that was targeted, she is in like the UK, I think. So it's just a lot of people I'd like to kind of have traditional nationality and all that talk. It's already fun, talking with these people. It'd be nice to talk to them, not with this drama and negative stuff. So anyways, that is the Dark Legion stuff. I won't be talking about it no more. I'm dropping it. And that's kind of adding to my attitude and negativity right now is just, one of the sources of joy has been turned sour due to other people's decisions to be nasty. Anyways, let's get into what y'all are here for. Let's go. I'm going to pause because I'd rather this not be immediately. Okay, so I think this was shown before the trailer. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place, we're ready to rock. This is kind of like a cartoon of the original group, which is a little weird that they kind of chose the animatronic forms to make a cartoon of instead of, more cartoony. Moving on, we have an endoskeleton. Based on this alone and some of the wires, I'm guessing this is Mangle. can pause now.
Welcome back. Are you ready to start the show?
That's William. Let's see. This is, I think, FazFest is what a lot of people are saying, like Daco. Basically, they make it like a carnival slash like, oh, what is it called? Fair setting with like Freddy's in mind. You can kind of already see with this Bonnie like Tasso girl. Then we did have a wheel. I'm guessing this might be a prize. Like, hey, do the thing and then spin the wheel to get a prize kind of thing.
Count with me now.
Oh. Wow. I don't know. Did we... oh, yeah. Daco showed a lot of stuff. This is the new sign for the new location. We got Abby returning... well, coming to this location. Oh, I almost forgot about the puppet in the background. We already know it's December. Gone to fix my friends. That's probably her talking about the original crew. Which is weird because I know we're getting the Wizards, which are more based on the actual game. So I wonder if they're going to explain how it looks different in terms of models.
They're out.
Mike. Oh, Vanessa.
They're Mike.
Oh. I think that was Toy Bonnie. Yeah, Toy Bonnie. Green eyes, buck teeth, blue.
Where?
This just looks like it might. I might think this is like a William or like a Henry, because Emily is supposed to be a part of this next movie. So it's gonna be fun. I love Henry as a character. I'm hoping he's kind of like the more heroic type that a lot of people portray him as, but that's kind of a personal fandom kind of thing. My fanfics. But this, I think, is just like a fair operator, because all fairs have like rides. I wonder if this is just someone operating one of those rides. For a second there, I thought it was that lawyer or whatever from that first one, and everyone would go crazy again. But this just looks like a normal guy we haven't seen. Hi, Chica. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear her speak. Oh, damn. Toy Chica's feet. Oh, feet finder, man. Feet finder. Oh, we're in a school. Well, Vanessa did say they're everywhere or whatever, right? So I'm guessing recently we've had, spoiler alert, if you haven't read the recent, basically there's new Fazbear Finance of Freddy's books where basically it's a choose your own adventure, but it's kind of like, it's just, their own thing, because choose your own adventure is copyrighted. They did a one for, I think, right after the 10th anniversary. It was a week before. They actually had a lot of things answered for Finance of Freddy's 1, including the name of Phone Guy. They mentioned in that book that they wanted to leave. And the building does not restrict them. It's not like there's... I'm trying to remember that name of that one show. It's where, ghosts kind of, float around a mansion or, hotel. And this one lady knows who they are and all that. They don't get restricted to the place. They just... there's a battery in the costumes that are charged by the feet. So, in a lot of the models, actually I can probably show you. Let me see here. Oh, that's kind of a small image. So right here, these, like, the very bottom of these feet, those, like, tannish looks, that is apparently charging pads. And basically what they wanted to do was overcharge themselves so they can just go on a rampage. And this is kind of taking that idea. I'm betting that's why they introduced it in a week before. That way it would make sense here in this movie why the toys are running around in schools and fairs and stuff instead of in a building. Mangle looks like she's gonna be, he or she or they are gonna be probably the biggest liner, which I love it. Like, I do have a preference with, of course, Toy Chica. But she is, they, or Mango, or whatever people call her. I keep saying the pronoun. Since we don't, I'm not trying to be, you know, a justice warrior. I'm just saying we don't know what they were supposed to be. They're the scariest of all the toy animatronics. And to be kind of like the one being ravenous is nice. Moving on. So they're going straight for our group. Come on. Toy Chica opening a garage. Yeah. Which, I'm guessing this is just a normal mechanic, you know, or just a normal person's home, and they're just, I heard someone in here. Oh, Toy Bonnie with, oh, are we returning back to the red eyes? What you got there, buddy? An ice pick? Oh no, a screwdriver. I see kind of like the cut in there. I'm guessing this is just them trying to lobotomize someone. It's the stab of 87. Oh. Jeez, man. This is a whiplash. Just a bunch of random people. I'm guessing this is... I think this is the screwdriver scene, because I think this is a Toy Bonnie shadow. Because this is either a Freddy or Bonnie based on the shadow. And then I think the ears make me think more Toy Bonnie. And this is what the screwdriver scene is. This is easily a dream sequence. That looks like... Yeah, that we got a preview about Vanny and Afton, and I'm guessing this is... I think I've heard people talk about, if I remember properly, like that Vanny is going to be our... or Vanessa. I keep saying Vanny. Vanessa is going to be our, like... Instead of Mike dreaming through the sequences, trying to remember his brother's incident, this is her trying to remember pieces and parts of, like, her youth and, like, the hold Afton had over her. And not to mention it's a dream because of the doors flying like a poltergeist. Unless we're showing his, like, apparition going around. Gun. Oh, jeez, man. I played for a second, and we had, like, 5 things. Oh. Jeez. Well, that looks very similar to Spring Bonnie, but... Huh. That's probably, a missing child's incident reference, or we might be getting a confirmation of DCI, which I think is Dead Children Incident, which is basically Five Nights at Freddy's 2. There was mini games where on the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 location, they just showed a bunch of kids all over the place. William didn't hide them or anything like in the missing children's. It's the theory that they're a separate group of kids versus the original, and that the toys might have been possessed. This looks like normally they have activations, and normally it's like an orangish or like a reddish. My theory is that this is the facial recognition. The way it activates, not to mention we haven't really seen anything from the toys suggesting of their more different builds yet, else in their plastics. I keep forgetting that we're in Nake Breck speed right now. Mangle pulling a cupcake scene basically. Just just my single arm is gonna deal with you, which is weird, huh? I'm guessing these are two of the limbs, kind of like here's the head and just. What you got there? We playing Ghostbusters in the middle of the night? Well, actually, that kind of looks like a camera. Kind of like this is like the little, like you flip out and it sees. That looks like the recording light. I don't know. I've never seen... Well, I'm not from this era, so I wonder if they had a light to kind of like make it easier to photograph. I keep hitting space. Huh. Is that like just a statue or something? Or is that Mangle on like the top of the vehicle smashing it in? And I don't think we can see a who. Is that because we seen Mangle earlier bust into Mike's or whatever place. Is this supposed to be like Vanessa as the driver? Okay, there's them doing some... This is like... I'm trying to remember what this makes me think of. Straight up Scooby-Doo, now that I think about it. Yeah, this is like, Scooby and Shaggy with like, maybe Daphne or Thelma kind of like holding back, just like, I don't know guys, time to get going. Jeepers, guys. I think these animatronics want to hurt us. Oh, I didn't. I think that's is this like a Mangle chomp down scene? Because last time we saw, like, they straight up gave us the Freddy death, but I'm hoping they did a little bit better job of hiding that one. Oh, come on. Okay, so... Dang. So this one has like curly / like... I don't know. Is that supposed to be Vanessa or is this another actor? I'm trying to like think of like the face structure. Maybe it's her. It's kind of hard. Wait, hold on. Let me go ahead and just... Zoop. Oh, come on. Whoop. I think that he's two different people. Yeah. Longer hair. She has like a lighter blonde. No. Anyways.
Showtime!
Bam, bam, ba-dam. Oh. We finally get to see the main. Oh, there's a... Oh, we got some Chica. I think that's... Yeah, that's a Foxy. There's a Rip. More Foxy. So this is like a full-on... Oh, we got some Bonnie in the background. This is more Toy Bonnie than normal Bonnie. And then we got finally Toy Freddy showing up. It's kind of weird that the main star of the show doesn't get as much as it is. But these models look amazing. Only in theaters and written by Scott Cawthon. Okay. So I just want to really quick check on this before we move on.
Hi, this is Mike. I was just calling to see if that job that you offer...
Okay, so mostly similar. Okay, we didn't really see the animatronics. Okay, we've seen all of them there. Okay, Bonnie. They show Freddy in the middle of that one. I mean, this is the proper trailer. I think the other one's a teaser trailer. I'm just looking for a teaser trailer, my friend. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Okay, for a second there, that I saw an AI image already. But I think based on that other trailer. Oh, here we go, official teaser. So we see the whole gang during a retro clip. They show Mike popping behind the curtain. They show Freddy. Okay, this was the red-eyed trailer. Yeah. So it is weird that they gave Toy Bonnie, Mangle. So basically every single person except for Toy Freddy got a time to shine in that trailer, which is weird. So I wonder what they're thinking they're gonna do with him. Either he's gonna be more like at the fair, or which that'll be Carnage, by the way, because the others, they're picking people off in like partners or like a single person. They're doing small groups where Toy Freddy is surrounded by people. I wonder if he's supposed to play nice during the film as everyone else is like getting slaughtered. But if he kind of does a full-on Zombieland where he's just at the carnival doing would be hilarious. He'd give me the zombie clown kind of idea. It had to be clowns. But alright, people on YouTube, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm moving over to some The Walking Dead episode F5 to finish up the game. And then I am going to call it for the night. But you should have been here. Links in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.